I didn't, Mr. Comptroller, I wanted you to know that I did not begin without you. But I was having fun with this group to tell them, everybody thinks our state comptroller, and I said, the people who work in state government, and that includes Salisbury University, you know, please be very nice to this man whose name is on all of our paychecks. You do realize that. Mr. Comptroller, and I was going to have some fun, and you'll appreciate this. I was going to say, this is not about Janet Dudley Eschbach. This is really about Len Foxwell. I was going to have like a pre-ceremony. Len, would you come, you know. You know, Len was featured recently in our alumni magazine, so we thought we'd give him a little memento.
Well, that picture was a few pounds ago, wasn't it? My graduation picture.
You know, there's so many distinguished folks here, Mr. Comptroller. We are so honored that you've come to campus. And I know you've been all around the shore. I've been hearing stories of your different visits. And you don't know what that means to us here on the Eastern Shore. To know how deeply you care, thumbs up indeed. Could we give our comptroller a big round of applause and thumbs up for all that he does? Now, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be up here at this podium right now, but this is my house, okay? So I do want to say this. You know, as an observer of Maryland politics for many, many years, we sometimes wring our hands and bemoan the fact that so much is done along party lines. From the first interactions I had with Peter Francho, it became clear to me that we had not only a trailblazer, but one who is able to work with many different constituencies. He is a very independent thinker and will say what he thinks, which has also gotten me in trouble at times, Mr. Comptroller. But this is a gentleman that I so deeply honor and feel so strongly about. I'm delighted, Comptroller Francho, that you did run for another term, were elected. I saw you there in Government House as the governor, and as a young man, that's still a very distinct possibility.
Now she's getting me in trouble.
In any case, please accept my gratitude for your being here. Now, was there an order of events? I'm sorry, I just took the podium for fun. Sorry, Len, you're up.
It's like the Ronald Reagan line, she paid for this microphone. Madam President, thank you very much for the gracious gift and for the warm introduction. It is truly an honor to be back home on campus. For those of you who don't know me, and for the record, Len Foxwell, class of 1992, and also worked for Comptroller Francho. And we are here today to present the William Donald Schaefer Helping People Award. This is an award that is given to one individual or institution in each of Maryland's 24 jurisdictions. And the purpose is to recognize that individual or that group who, by acts of extraordinary philanthropy, volunteerism, or public service, have transformed the communities in which they live and their friends, neighbors, and families' lives for the better in some meaningful way. And the caliber of those who received this award in Wicomico is illustrated, I think, by the three previous recipients in Wicomico County, two of whom I believe are with us today. Dr. Spicer Bell, please. Mr. Marty Neat, who's here. And Art Cooley, who could not be with us today. Each and every one of these individuals are civic giants who, in their own distinctive ways, have been instrumental in the emergence of the greater Salisbury region as one of our state's most livable and most vibrant communities. And they've done so at a time when so many other communities around our state are simply struggling to survive. So this is elevated company that our 2015 recipient is about to join. And that said, there has never been a more deserving recipient of this award, either in Wycomico County or in the entire state, than Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach. And I was asked to introduce the president this morning and to set the stage for the comptroller's presentation. And I was kind of fumbling around with what to say. And I decided just to kind of take us back in time very quickly, 10 years to when I came back to my alma mater as an employee, as her, whatever you called me, special assistant for government relations or something. And I just want to take back to what this institution looked like just 10 years ago in 2005. All of our coursework in the Seidel School of Education, which has been and continues to be our state's most preeminent proving ground of quality school teachers, was done in Carruthers Hall. The work of the Purdue School of Business, our proving ground for successful accountants, CEOs, entrepreneurs, investors, economists, was also done in Carruthers Hall. Now, I love Carruthers Hall. It's a venerable old institution, a relic from the Eisenhower administration, but by 2005, it had outlived its period of functionality and was known primarily at that point for leaky faucets, water damage, bad wiring, and steroid-fed rodents. Our library space, Blackwell Library, was and is an adequate repository of dusty books and periodicals. And I loved it when I was a student here and had many naps there. But it is not a school, it is not the centerpiece of campus life. It is not the incubator of ideas that's worthy of a school of this reputation and stature. And those who would travel past Salisbury University by way of our primary gateway, the US 13 corridor, were treated to a less than inspiring mix of surface parking lots, auxiliary buildings, and heating and air conditioning equipment. And that is not, as I recall, the aesthetic that aligned with our brand as a Maryland University of national distinction. It's not to say things were bad 10 years ago. We were already one of the most coveted tickets in Maryland higher education. We were the darling of valedictorians from Bethesda to Long Island, and U.S. News and World Report and Kiplinger's had already caught on to the fact that something special was happening at Salisbury University. So things were good, but I tend to watch a little bit of baseball, so I'll use an analogy. We were good, we were scoring runs, but we were leaving an awful lot of runners on base. We weren't fully capitalizing on our assets. And I think it is safe to say that Janet Dudley Eschbach, to continue the tortured analogy, stepped up to the plate, hit the grand slam, and brought the runners home. Today, those auxiliary buildings and that HVAC equipment has been replaced by the Teacher Education and Technology Center, the Purdue School of Business, and Seagull Square, which together form the most beautiful and the most powerful intellectual corridor in the state of Maryland today. And that would not have happened were it not for Janet Dudley Eschbach's vision. Dear old, leaky, critter-infested Carruthers Hall, rest in peace, has now given way to the Academic Commons, which will be an absolutely amazing center of high-tech classroom learning, academic research, historic preservation, campus social life. And if that wasn't enough, because she's just too darn young to put the seal on her resume at this point, she's now in the process of giving Salisbury University the state-of-the-art athletic complex that is fitting for a home of perennial national champions and title contenders. Not to mention, Marty, the school that's won the Regents Cup for I think like 36 straight years now. Marty's a Frostburg State guy, so I have to give him some good-natured ribbing. Like any good banker, Marty knows how to hedge. And even in this era of transformation, Salisbury University, and this is what the comptroller loves most about this school. It is the most affordable bargain in higher education today. It is the place where working families throughout our state can send kids to get a quality education without mortgaging their financial futures and that of their children. And that is what this comptroller preaches each and every day. She has done better with less through exceptional management. Her vision and her sheer relentlessness, which is best known in Annapolis as, quote, "I am never, ever going to go away until you give me my damn money," has forever transformed the aesthetics, the reputation, and the intellectual capabilities of this school. And she has taken what was regarded as a fine regional school once upon a time into one of the most successful institutions, one of the great success stories in American higher education, and she has turned it in the process into one of Maryland's most powerful economic engines. So for providing tens of thousands of children throughout our state with the tools of prosperity and happiness, and for providing countless Marylanders with good-paying, family-supporting jobs both now and for the future, Janet Dudley-Eschbach is a most deserving recipient of this prestigious award. And now I'd like to turn the floor over to my boss, Comptroller Francho, who will actually present the 2015 Schaefer Award. Thank you.
So the President alluded to the fact that I work across the aisle, and I don't think it's any mistake that I have I have a very positive relationship with Governor Hogan. And that's why I, along with all Marylanders, were really upset last week when he announced his health problems. And I think every Marylander is in his corner fighting with him to get him back just as quick as possible, because as Len alluded to the President's qualifications, Governor Hogan is, God bless him, he's come into town and rolled up his sleeves, and he's all business. And I have indicated that on the Board of Public Works, which is a unique panel here in Maryland, watch out, don't get on the wrong side of the Board of Public Works, that where he wants to make things better for the state, I'm going to be there as a, open-minded, constructive ally and partner. And so on all of the fronts that he campaigned on, which was to, show up with the voters and not be hidden in Annapolis, but get out and see people. As you know, there's not a friendlier, nicer person in politics than Larry Hogan. And he shows up with people. He asks them how they are. He really holds the line as far as spending and debt. And he doesn't do it out of a negative sense. He does it out of a positive sense so that we can have the money to invest, because we're going to need a lot of it for President Dudley-Eschbach. But you know what I'm talking about. We need to get things tightened up so that our great state can really get back to the prosperity that it was accustomed to. So when he got ill, I was very disappointed, but turns out he has a secret weapon. I don't know whether anyone's met Boyd Rutherford. Lieutenant Governor is, you think Governor Hogan's all business. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford is a secret weapon and a great, great person to sit in temporarily while Governor Hogan recovers. And I kid Governor Hogan. I say sometimes when he was in Asia, I said, take your time coming back because Rutherford's doing a great job. But obviously we all wish the governor a quick and complete recovery. So, yes. Yep. I have a secret weapon. Yep, sitting right over there, Len Foxwell. Guy that introduced me is my chief of staff, and God forbid I ever get sick, but if I do, he'll be a much better comptroller than I am. He can step right into the job. And, there's nobody that I appreciate more for having the interests of the state of Maryland first and foremost than Len Foxwell. He got a lot of those values and virtues, I think, from going to Salisbury and having the great professors that you have here. And I call this university the Yale University of Maryland. It's just a hell of a lot more affordable. Just as good. So, and Len, unfortunately, the only thing I disagree with him on is that apparently nobody ever gets hired at the comptroller's office unless they've gone to Salisbury University. That's about it. So anyway, well, I'm delighted to be here with all of the elected officials. I see Delegate Mott's out, who's had such a successful start to his career, and Delegate Anderton, who is so well regarded up in Annapolis, and Delegate Mary Beth Carrozza, who was with me yesterday at the Maryland Municipal League. Thank you for your leadership on so many issues. And Councilman John Cannon, I believe, is here from Wycomico. And then I met with Jake Day yesterday over in Ocean City. He's my candidate for whatever he wants to run for. He's yeah, he's a good guy. And I understand a representative from Congressman Andy Harris's office is here, which is great if she or he wants to give something to the president. And Spicer Bell, who is so great, thank you for being here. And Marty Neat is all things Lower Shore as far as I'm concerned. So Marty, thank you for everything that you've done at the bank and everything you've done in the private sector. And if I could just return to one point with Governor Hogan, he, like I, believe that government's really important, but the only engine, I call it the genius of the private sector, the only engine that's going to create jobs and wage growth for us is private business. I mean, government is very important, but very minor compared to the private economy. And in Maryland, the public economy's got plenty of money, believe me. I'm the money guy. I see it. We have tons of money. It's not very well managed. It's going to be well managed. The problem is we don't have enough confidence in the private sector to move forward and hire people and expand and grow because they think the rug's going to be pulled out from underneath them. So I just want to thank Marty Neat for teaching me that the private sector is not the enemy. The private sector is our ally and our partner. So anyway, long-winded way of saying we're really came here to honor Dr. Janet Dudley Esbach. We've talked about nothing, everybody except her. So how great it is that I'm here, and how expensive a day it is for the state of Maryland that I'm down here. But anyway, this award is very special for me because it honors the tradition of my legendary predecessor, who was mayor of Baltimore City, comptroller, and governor of Maryland. Think of that. 4-term mayor, 2-term governor, 2-term comptroller. Dedicated his life to helping others. Governor Schaefer, for those of you who knew him, cared about the little guy. He knew you could make as much of a difference with a small gesture as you could with a large one. Whether that meant filling a pothole, cleaning up a park, or lending your time to a neighborhood group. He always used to say when his staff complained that he would give $5 to someone who came up and asked him for help on the street. The staff would say, "You don't need to do that, Governor." And he said, "Yeah. No, I do need to do it, because they're but for fortune. Any of us could lose a job or get sick or have a personal tragedy." And so that was William Donald Schaefer's legacy to everybody who knew him. He was a World War II greatest generation person who believed in small things, helping people in large ways. And I hope that we get back to that. I think his legacy lives on. If you go and visit his gravesite, he's got William Donald Schaefer, his birth date and date he left us, but nothing about being governor or comptroller or mayor. Not a word, just 2 words on his tombstone. He cared, and I love that about him. He had absolutely no use for me because I beat him in an election, and he was pretty grumpy, I'll tell you that. But He did love my mom, who was a Rosie Riveter and who's still alive, and I think that that greatest generation really responded personally to each other, and boy, do we miss that in politics these days. But anyway, Dr. Dudley Esbach has carried on that legacy here in Salisbury for the last 15 years. I was honored, and this is the first time in the 3-year history of the William Donald Schaefer Helping People Awards. I'm going all over the state. This is the first time I have nominated someone. Yep. Every time else we get, you know, someone in the community, and there's a big jury of people that work for Schaefer that kind of vet everybody. I finally got the opportunity to personally nominate my favorite university president for this award, and it is, as Len mentioned, because of the transformative impact she has had and continues to have on this university and this town and our state of Maryland. Not only is she the first woman to hold the office of president at Salisbury, but just this year, she was the only university president honored by the Daily Record as one of the state's most admired CEOs. Under Dr. Dudley Esbach's leadership, Salisbury University has increased in size and reputation. I'm thinking that we should name a building after her, don't you think? Yeah. God bless Mr. Purdue, but I'm thinking of just naming it Janet's Building. Yep. And anyway, the student body has grown under her leadership by 34%. The average high school GPA for incoming freshmen is at an all-time high. Last 5 years, their SAT scores are up 50 points. She is a Latin American literature and Spanish language scholar herself. She's made diversity a pillar of her tenure with the international studies, increasing minority enrollment by 150%, cultivating a more diverse faculty and staff, creating more opportunities for students to study abroad, how important that is. She's also had a profound impact on the scope of academic programs and facilities here at Salisbury. Over the last 15 years, this university has developed nearly 1/3 of its current majors and now offers its first doctorate program. Its skyline looks dramatically different with nationally recognized state-of-the-art facilities that meet the highest standards of energy efficiency and benefit the campus and the community. Additionally, the university's newly released 10-year master plan lays out a vision to elevate Salisbury to new levels of academic excellence, where sustainability is a priority, where students can better live and learn and lead. The successes of Salisbury University and the leadership of Dr. Dudley Esbach have not gone unnoticed. She's been named one of Maryland's top 100 women 3 times, has been featured in numerous national publications, was elected to the board of directors for the American Association of State Colleges and Universities. She's served on the board of the American Council on Education, is active in the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, speaks Spanish fluently. And I have to take some lessons from you because I got to get with it on that. The university has also gained national recognition, with Salisbury included as one of the Princeton Review's best colleges and universities and the U.S. News and World Report's top public universities for every single year of her tenure. And finally, as the state's chief fiscal officer, it must be said that because of this growth in size, reputation, and vision, Salisbury has become one of this region's largest employers and has an annual economic impact of roughly $420 million. Think of that. What an economic engine that is. So on behalf of the state of Maryland, a grateful comptroller's office, since I am the tax collector, and in the spirit of Governor Schaefer's legacy and commitment to public service, I'm honored and proud to present the 2015 William Donald Schaefer Helping People Award for Wycomico County to a wonderful leader and an even better person, Salisbury University President Dr. Janet Dudley Esbach. Oh man, so great. Yeah. Let me give you this little thing here. So this is ask the elected officials to come up and get a photo? We put it up on Facebook, and we always get some positive response.
Hey, Carl, how are you? It's good to see you.
Anyone who's an elected official or a former elected official, come on up. Yeah.
Set it up for us.
Wherever you want. Jump right. Come on over here. Come on over on my side.
All right. In case I fall over out of embarrassment.
Got it? Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Delegate. Wow. And I thought Len was laying it on a little thick. I am tremendously humbled and honored to receive this prestigious award from you, Mr. Comptroller. And before I forget, because you mentioned Kiplinger's and U.S. News and World Report, you especially would be happy to know that Consumers Digest just picked out of 4,000 colleges and universities nationally the 100 best, most affordable, best value, best academic programs. There were 2 institutions in Maryland, Salisbury University and some place called College Park. All right. But we're trying to keep things affordable for all Marylanders, and we have ample proof that we are successful at Salisbury in making good use of the state dollars, which we are charged with stewarding. Words really can't express my sincere appreciation and my surprise. And I'm going to say, when I learned that I was going to be a recipient of the 2015 William Donald Schaefer Helping People Award, I was really excited. This is kind of fun for me because I am a longtime Marylander, as is my husband, the long-suffering Joe Eschbach. Because I greatly admired William Donald Schaefer. I remember as a young faculty member at Goucher College a number of years ago, following the different positions and just really remarking what an incredible public servant he was. And I just want to say, Mr. Comptroller, I so appreciate all that you have done for Salisbury University, for the entire state of Maryland. Really, every citizen, every Marylander has benefited and will continue to benefit thanks to your wonderful stewardship. There is a lot of money in Maryland, and we need to figure out how to get the best bang for those bucks, right? Now, as a tenured faculty member, in the liberal arts and humanities, as you've noted, I confess that as I look towards what is the end goal, I mean, sometimes since I began my career as a faculty member, occasionally I will ask myself, how did a nice person like that become president of a university? In all sincerity, I've been extremely fortunate. I do believe that the larger mission is trying to make things better for everyone. But I will tell you, and Len knows this is true, and Mr. Comptroller, I am these people who are here, and I mean our public servants, but I particularly want to give a shout out for all of the employees of Salisbury University. I cannot tell you, Mr. Comptroller, how hard these people work. And here it is summer. And I thought maybe 3 or 4 folks would come, but they must have come to see you, Mr. Comptroller. But in all sincerity, I've got great employees here, you know, from the deans to the faculty to my executive staff to, you know, the folks who help our young people today get the right courses and figure out what to do when there's a crisis at home. It might involve a substance abuse issue, whatever it is. You know, being president of a university that is largely residential, such as Salisbury, is a little bit like, Mr. Day, a little bit like running a town or a city. And you know, it's an overwhelming set of responsibilities that I simply could not do successfully without everyone else who's here. I'd also like to give a shout out to my foundation board members who are here. The chair of our, would the foundation board members who are here please stand? You know. Now, the big deal, what's the big deal? The big deal here is that much of what we've been able to accomplish, we've had to get creative. You can't always go to the state and say, gimme, 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 right? So we have worked very hard through the Salisbury University Foundation to raise private monies that will help fund the projects that we need, and increasingly student scholarships, because we don't want to become a university of rich kids, and not all kids, but you know, of people who already can afford to attend college. We want to be an opportunity center for all qualified individuals. I truly believe, again, this is my liberal artsy side coming out, I truly believe that the purpose of education is not only to better oneself, but to use our minds and our conflict resolution abilities, our abilities to think critically, to make the world a better place. We're trying at Salisbury University to create students who go on to do great things, such as Mr. Len Foxwell and all the other employees in your office, Mr. Comptroller. You know, learning and the expansion of knowledge are immensely powerful and rewarding tools, but they're only effective and meaningful if they are used to improve the lives of those around us. Civic engagement and community service have become hallmarks of what we do at Salisbury University. In addition to many startup businesses, entrepreneurship has gotten very big here. And for all of those things, I'm extremely proud. Our students leave this university not only with a solid education and a competitive resume that lands them in the halls of power, but with an understanding of the leadership role that these graduates must take in whatever community they reside. And I believe that each and every one of us must, every single day, learn, live, we hope, and lead. We must continually demand excellence from ourselves. And as we meet with success, it is our responsibility to remain committed to helping others, to helping our larger community. You know, when Len was here, whatever your long title was, it was government relations and external relations, and now Robbie Sheehan is in that role. You know, I think for a number of years, perhaps this university, I'm not going to say we turned our backs on the surrounding communities, but we didn't care enough about reaching out, about listening. How can we be better partners? How can we make our surrounding counties and regions more successful, more economically viable? That is a large part of our mission. So, Mr. Comptroller, I didn't come prepared with a long speech, but I am incredibly honored again today. This is, for me, a wonderful accolade and kind of a capstone, if you will, having finished my 15 years. I don't know if I'm signing up for 15 more, but thank you, whoever called me young. I really appreciate that. I am 62 years old now, and while that sounds old to people like my children, the reality is the average university president gets his or her presidency at the age of 62. So I think I'm just getting started. Again, thank you all. Thank you so much for coming today. It means a great deal. I'll be honest, I thought summertime, yeah. I'm deeply honored by the presence of each and every person here today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hotly competed for around the state. I give them to Marylanders who make a difference. And President Janet mentioned in passing the long-suffering Joe Escott. I'd like to present.
I do have mine, but I'm going to see if two of those that we now have can be converted into a new Fulton school.
I gave one to a businessman the other day, not that I give them out very frequently, but he said, "Does this mean I still have to pay my taxes?"
I thought it was a waiver, huh?
Delegate Carosa, if you could come up with Delegate Motz and Jake and any elected official delegate, and come on up and say something, please, about my favorite president. Don't say a word.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you,
You know, growing up here, seeing the difference not only physically to the campus here, but seeing the relationship between the university and Salisbury and Wycomico County is nothing like it was when I was a child here. I'm not an alumni of Salisbury University, but I dug graves to put my wife through here twice. She'll tell you she put herself through here and I paid the cable bill, but that's okay. But no, it has been a pleasure getting to know you, and I'm excited to work with you. It's going to be one of the joys of my life, because just seeing the impact you've had, and I'm hoping that some of that will rub off on me. And we have a great delegation. We have Jake Day here, who's going to do good things in Salisbury. I can't wait to start working with you, brother. It's going to be good. But putting the pieces together now, everything's in place, so now we can go. And it's going to be a fun ride, and I'm just really excited. And I'm incredibly blessed to know you, and you are so deserving of that award. The legacy you've left already, I can't wait to see what the next 15 years brings. But I will turn the mic over to my colleagues, but I'm just very excited and very grateful for you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate.
Sure.
Well, I'll be brief, and Carl is absolutely right, but I don't know why you're surprised, because you're loved. You realize that, right? We love you, and we appreciate everything that you've done for this university and this community, and what this university has become for this community. I grew up, in the shadows of Holloway Hall, and not far away, and I still live, not far away at all. And the one thing that I've seen changed also, and that I want to continue to change, is not just how the university sees its role in the community, but how the community sees its role in the university. And I guarantee you, I promise you, that we will be not just a town with a university in it, but a university town. That's where we're headed. And that's our engine. This is our engine. This is our engine. So thank you for everything that you've done, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's John Cannon, President of the Wycomico County Council. We are thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be here today, and I couldn't think of a more rewarding accolade, as you said, for what you have done, not only to this university, but to this community. Len, I'm from Salisbury. I went to Carruthers. And I am, out of everyone here, probably old enough to tell you how everything has progressed. because I went to it when it was the elementary school, when it was Salisbury State Teachers College. So I know the history, and Comptroller, very pleased to have you here today. But what you have done with this university, how you have helped this community is beyond just a simple recognition and award. I've seen all the presidents who have been here, and they've all done such excellent jobs. But in exponential numbers, the progress you've made at this university has been fantastic. What I have seen, and what was I believe what you had stated earlier, as far as within the last 10 years, how you have sort of bonded with the community and helped this community grow. I'd like to thank you on behalf of Wycomico County for what you are doing, because we do understand how important an element Salisbury University is to the community as a whole. You're doing a great job. I appreciate it. It's very good to see you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Mounts. I'm a new delegate for District 37B. I reside in St. Michael's, which is Talbot County, but the district comes up into Wycomico. It has Dorchester and Caroline counties in the district. And
Is that your tie?
this is my Eastern Shore tie. It's a Chesapeake Bay with the Maryland crabs. That tie has gotten me into some trouble, but I have an interesting background growing up in St. Michael's in a small town. My family's restaurant is there, and I've also worked on Capitol Hill, and I worked for Governor Ehrlich, and I sort of learned the ropes along the way. Jeannie Hadaway Riccio was my predecessor, and just a fantastic delegate, and she ran for lieutenant governor, is now working in Governor Hogan's office in intergovernmental affairs. No matter what your background is, your first year as a delegate, there are challenges that you can't overcome. You have to deal with what you have. You go into office on a Saturday, you get your office on a Monday, and you're sworn in on a Tuesday. And I can't tell you how much all of our delegation supports and wants to see Salisbury University achieve and grow and do all the great things that it's going to do. And in my experience, in my short time working with President Eschbach, I can't tell you how much you have helped us and how easy you have made our job. There are words and there are actions, and I can tell you our president is a person of actions, and we're here today. It's an honor for me to be here to salute you, and Comptroller Francho. These awards, there are a lot of awards that go out, and the William Donald Schaefer Award is a significant award. It goes to one person in each county, and by making this award, conducting these events, it's very symbolic, and it means a lot to the community. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for all the time you spend on the Eastern Shore. And I couldn't salute your Chief of Staff enough, Len Foxwell. Not only is he on the shore, not only is he working in your office, but he's also administering my local Little League, the Easton Little League. And I know I'm way off base now, but we're going to host the state championship this year. Thank you to your leadership. So it's an incredible honor to be here with you. Congratulations, and please keep on the great work. And if we can help you in any way, let us know.
Much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Delegate Mary Beth Carrozza. I'm one of the newbies, the new delegates, and I think you see that we are so excited for you, Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach. And we go back to our days when I served in Governor Ehrlich's administration. And first impressions mean a lot. And I remember the conversations after meeting you and then talking to Governor Ehrlich. It's like, she is no nonsense. She means business, and she has a vision for Salisbury University to take us to the next level. And we did see that from the beginning. I also always appreciated how you worked with everybody. And sometimes it's the personal impressions that have the lasting impression. And in my case, my goddaughter, Amanda Pollock, is a graduate, has both her bachelor's and her master's in social work from Salisbury University. When she was first thinking about schools her junior year, she said something to me about, Aunt Mary Beth, I'm, thinking about applying to Salisbury University. And I said, well, Amanda, I said, if I were you, I'd think about, maybe getting my grades up a little bit. Because when we went to school, their grades were the standards were at a certain level. And with your leadership, those standards have risen. And I made a point to say to her, if you want to get into Salisbury University, get those grades up and work hard. You have a dynamic president who has a vision. And it's so important that the president does have the vision, because you understand about bringing the different partners together, that we need to understand the needs of the employers, that we want our young people to stay on the shore. I've always said, you know, all along that we do a good job of educating our young people, but we want them to stay here and continue to flourish on the shore. And your vision is doing that with the partnerships that you've built. And I want to thank the comptroller for including all of us and for recognizing your leadership. This award is a big deal. That's why we're here today. And we want you to know that, and we want you to know of our heartfelt appreciation for your leadership.
Thank you so much.
I believe everything has been said, and I also think that everybody who has to say it has said it. So with that, if there are no objections, we'll adjourn. I believe that Salisbury Dining Services has prepared some nice food for us in the back. Please mix, mingle, have fun, and thank you so very much for joining us this morning. Take care.